So to anybody you sell, first they should like you. Okay. Only when they like you, they would like to know more about you. Only when they know you, they will trust you. Once they trust you, whatever you sell, they will buy.
Welcome all to the Stars of Learning show, and my name is Jyoti G, and I'm your host for the show. And each week I interview the thought leaders in the learning industry who will share their best practices of learning in the 21st century. We will also discuss challenges, solutions, latest trends, tools, technology, and leadership, and their journey in the learning field. If people like you, they will listen to you. But if they trust you, they will do business with you. That's what Zig Ziglar has to say. And listeners, today I'm super excited for this show, as our guest today is going to unveil the secrets of sales. And when I met this person, who is an author, entrepreneur, sales trainer, keynote speaker, and negotiator in one of the learning and development chapter, and his one message was, anybody can sell. So simple, isn't it, friends? Yes, as rightly said, our guest for today's show is the author of the book Anybody Can Sell, Mr. Subramanian Chandramouli, and most people call him Subbu. Friends, Subramanian mentors many startups in the fields of sales in collaboration with the well-known accelerators. Subramanian has more than 15 years of experience in the field of sales, is also an international sales and negotiation skills trainer. He represents clients on negotiation for specific deals, and he has trained more than 4,000 people in various aspects of sales. He consults for many companies in improving their sales performance. He is a prolific speaker at conferences, forums, and business schools. His book, Anybody Can Sell, is available in Amazon, Flipkart, and Infibeam for you. He's also trained middle and senior level executives in sales and negotiation, and he has done a lot of programs and very famous programs to say, be a sales superstar, how to win mega deals, negotiation skills, and many more. Without any further ado, so let me welcome my guest, Subramanian Chandramouli, author of the book Anybody Can Sell. Subbu, thank you very much for joining us for today's show.
Thank you, Jyoti. I really appreciate that you asking me to join this interview. Really happy about it.
Sure. Subbu, a little background about yourself and your journey. You have been an electrical and electronic engineer, and you got into a sales trainer, and you're also an author, and you've also done your entrepreneurship and now into a training journey. It's amazing fields you have tapped into. So can you give us a little background about it?
Sure, Jyoti. Right from my childhood, I'm very passionate about sales. So I always want to be a salesman. But somehow I became a software engineer. Maybe my era, everybody become software engineer. I also become software engineer. But within 2-3 years, I knew that this is not my journey. So after 3 years, in software engineering, I quit my job and went to Singapore and Dubai to do my global MBA program from SP Jain. So after that, I joined Patni Computer System as assistant manager sales and then moved up to India sales manager. But when I did my MBA, I thought I should start my own company. When I was reading about many great business people and reading their biography and solving many case studies, I thought I want to become an entrepreneur. So that's how I started my own company in 2010. But as I was always passionate about sales, in the meantime, some of my business friends, I was taking sales training for their company, training their employees to become better in sales. Then I understand my real calling is training people in sales, and I can see the transformation in their life. So I was really enjoying that. I don't feel like I'm working. So then I took a tough decision of closing my e-learning company and starting my training company totally into sales training. That's how my quick entrepreneurial journey and training journey, Jyoti.
Wonderful, Subbu. I think the passion calling for being into sales. So I see that, you're passionate and you also have a mission to convert every person into a sales superstar. According to you, what is sales superstar? How do you recognize that this is the person with that hat?
Good question, Jyoti. See, when I mean a sales superstar, See, I last 16 years I am in the industry, and I've met many salespeople. Some of them, when I asked them why do you join sales industry, they told me that they didn't get any other job. That's why they came to sales. So, and there is also a perception in the market that he's a sales guy, and salespeople means they will cheat. I feel that I want to change that perception. And people who really like sales, I want to convert them into sales superstar. To answer your question, what is sales superstar? See, a sales superstar is a person who can sell irrespective of external environment. Whether the market is dull or any economic downturn, still he will able to sell his product or service because he know that it is not about the product, it's all about the customer and the relationship. So I define sales superstar as a person who can sell irrespective of macroeconomic factors.
Just like our superstar Rajnikant.
Exactly. So any film you do, right? So it will be a mega hit, right? So irrespective of how the film industry is.
Yes. Okay. How do you recognize that this is the person, who is having that hat?
See, when you see them, when you talk to them, right, you can see a lot of energy with them and a lot of positivity around them. So within 5 minutes, you will know that this guy is or this girl is special, right? It may be in any industry, but in sales, when you meet a salesperson, whether he's a high energy, highly positive person or not, you can easily identify. And sales is nothing but whatever energy you have. If you can transform that energy to the prospect, they'll become your customer. Sales is nothing but transferring energy. That's what I feel. So you can easily find them out.
Okay. And you also say sales is just a 90% conviction and 10% communicating with confidence. Can you explain your thoughts to my listeners? How do they practice it during sales?
Yeah, sure. So Jyoti, if you're selling a product or a service, you as a salesperson, okay, will you know more about the product, or the person who is coming to buy from you, he or she knows more about the product?
It would be me.
Exactly, right? So actually any customer is not a customer, it's a prospect. Only when he buys is a customer. As of now, he's a buyer. Any buyer who comes to buy something, right, actually he don't know more about the product or service, okay? But still, out of 4 or 5 people who are trying to sell him, how he is able to find out the right vendor with whom he can buy? Actually, he is seeing what is the confidence you as a salesperson having on your own product or service. He is just buying your confidence. He is not buying the product or service. So you can easily find out whether are you confident enough on your product. So that's why sales is 90% conviction. When I mean conviction, it's how confident you are about your own product. And the remaining 10% is how you are communicating your confidence to the buyer. That's all sales is all about.
Yeah, I think Apple would be a classic example for this. Yeah, they tap it on what's in it for the people, and very less of communicating. But then their product talks a lot, right?
And they're very confident about their product.
Yes, yeah. So Subbu, actually, in our daily life, everybody is doing sales. Every single day, we are selling and negotiating with each other. It could be from the time we wake up, until on the way, during the journey to office, and even in the office, or when we come back home. You're selling and you're negotiating to get things done. What is that 1 or 2 strategy to make an impact in sales? And how does this help in client handling?
So, can I tell the core strategy of sales? Can I tell that?
Yeah, please.
Yeah. If anybody who understands this properly and deeply, they understand sales. Okay. So the key strategy is, it's all about them. When I say them, I mean customers. So it's all about customers. So in sales, right, anything you do, when you communicate in email, when you create a brochure, when you talk to a customer, when you question a customer, when you listen to the customer, when you send a proposal to the customer, in everything, if you're able to think about the customer, then you know what sales is all about. See, generally when I see a normal salesperson, right, what do? They come and they pitch about their company. We are a 10-year-old company. We are having 100 employees. We are having 1,000 employees. My product is great.
Yeah.
Nobody is there to hear your story, okay? A great salesperson, he will never talk about his company or himself. He will always ask about the customer's company, the customer's problem, the customer's business. He will always ask about them because you know that he or she knows that it's all about them. So when you keep on asking the customer and trying to understand the customer, obviously, you know, when customer is asking about you or your company, you know what to talk. So that is a key strategy I would recommend for any salesperson. During the first 5 minutes or 10 minutes or whatever number of minutes you can hold, never talk about you or your product or your service. Talk only about the customer. Ask only about the customer.
Okay.
Then see the difference, okay? So then see the magic, how it turns.
Interesting. So, Subbu, I've also seen your profile, and I also see that you have been trained by Brian on psychology of selling and sales mastery program by Blair Singer. Can you share what was your key aspects you learned from the same?
Yeah. So from Brian Tracy, my key learning is spend more time with the right prospects. So what he says is even if you get a lot of leads, the superstar salesperson will find out who is the right prospect for me. Say, for example, if you have 10 leads, if you're talking to 10 prospective customers, within the first call or second call, you will judge who are the 2 or 3 people who will have all the potential to become my customer. And then you will spend more time only with those 2-3 people so that you can close the deal. That's what I learned more from Brian Tracy. And from Blair Singer, it's all about how to handle objection, right? Whenever customer tell you objection or a rejection, how to handle it with a positive mindset. That's what I learned from Blair Singer.
Okay. In continuation to this question, what are those secrets you're still practicing and making an impact to sell your product effectively?
Yeah, as I said, when I talk to the customer, I will never talk about me or myself or my company. To me, the biggest secret of sales is it's all about them. So I will take care that in all my communication, I keep customer first. And see, imagine if somebody is talking to you, Jyoti, on a conversation, for 1 hour conversation.
Yeah.
So 55 minutes, if you are talking, at the end of 55 minutes, how will you feel? No. When you are talking, like I'm asking you a lot of questions and you are talking, you are sharing your experience and I'm asking only question. So after 55 minutes, how will you feel? You will feel very happy, right?
Right. Yeah.
And what will you feel about me? You will feel very comfortable with me, correct? Because hey, this guy is
showing
listening
interest
to me, showing interest to me for last 55 minutes, right? And then in the 1 hour conversation, when 55 minutes you are talking, the last 5 minutes when you ask me, hey Subbu, what do you do? Then you are giving 100% focus on me.
True.
Correct?
Yes.
So that's exactly the biggest secret of superstar salespeople, okay? They will make the customers talk more, spend more time with them. So automatically a relationship is being built, a rapport is being built. So in the last 5 minutes when they talk about, when the customer asks about him or her, whatever he says, it goes directly into the customer's heart and the deal is closed.
Yeah, I know. And giving that time do matter so that, you get that time from the prospects.
Yeah, undivided focus you get there. So which is very rare in a sales conversation.
True. Yeah. So I'm also really puzzled, Subbu, on how, some people are able to sell almost anything while many others are, struggling to sell even a single product. What's your insight as, you mentor many startups in the fields of sales that are in collaboration with well-known Accelerator and Incubators?
So whatever I'm going to say, some of the product people may not like this. Okay. So, but what I believe is it's not about the product. It's all about the person. If there is a customer, when there's a simple formula in sales, okay, maybe your users can also benefit from this. It's called LKT.
Okay.
L stands for like, K stands for no, and T stands for trust.
Okay.
So to anybody you sell, first they should like you. Okay. Only when they like you, they would like to know more about you. Only when they know you, they will trust you. Once they trust you, whatever you sell, they will buy.
Yeah. I think the product is anyway good. They would have put a lot of effort and made it with the quality, and they would have thought about the customer and designed it. But what matters is the person who is selling that product. So it's very important to know about the LKT, I think. Yeah, that's a nice strategy, Subbu. So, I heard you saying, Blair Singer taught you about, handling objections. So, what is your best advice for handling criticism?
So whenever there is objections from the customer, okay, so I will recommend people to follow this LAER model. Okay, what it means is L stands for listen. Whenever customer gave you an objection or they criticize you, first listen to them. Let's not defend it. And A stands for acknowledge. When I say acknowledge, we don't need to agree to it, but we can acknowledge. Yeah, Jyoti, I understand that you are feeling like this. You can acknowledge the feeling.
Yeah.
Then comes explore. E stands for explore. Then ask them question why they are. Say, for example, you are unhappy with my product or service. When you are complaining to me, I will listen to it 100%, and they will acknowledge that I understand, Jyoti, you are feeling like this. Then I will explore. Then I will ask you a question. So, Jyoti, why do you think it is not good? I will explore. Then you will give me some more insight to why it is not working, or why you are unhappy, or why you are having this objection. Then I will respond. So LAER. So generally I see people, whenever there is objection, immediately they defend, okay? And the moment you become defensive, and the customer will also become more offensive, and it goes in a different tangent. So it's better to listen, acknowledge, explore why they are feeling what they are feeling, and then then respond to that. So that LAER model will actually help people to handle objections or criticism.
Very, very insightful, Subbu. Just for your FYI, L&D trends, in 2019, listening skills is what people need to hone. That's what is lacking. That's the research report which is out, and most of the corporates are, focusing on how to engage employees in listening. I think if you start listening, all of these could be a simple win. And because the moment you listen, that emotional connect, you're able to that acknowledge, explore, respond would automatically fall in place.
Yeah, even in personal life, the fight between the husband and wife will come down drastically if they follow this model.
True. Yes. Yeah, I think every walk of life, I think we have to simply listen, I would say. And now let's come to your interesting aspect, your book, Anybody Can Sell. How did you begin writing? Did you intend to become an author, or, did you have a specific reason for writing this book? Can you tell a little more about, what inspired you to write this book?
Sure, Jyoti. See, actually, thanks to my sister, Gomati Ramesh, she's the one who gave me the first book to read when I was studying my +1. So from that time onwards, I read a lot of book. And when I was reading books, one day I thought that one day I should also write a book. This was there in my mind for the last 10 years. But somehow I didn't get enough time, or I was not focused on writing. But when I closed my e-learning company and decided to become full-time sales trainer, I got a gap of 3-4 months. I took a break. So I thought this is the right time to write it. And when I want to write, I was very clear that because I was already taking sales training part-time.
Yeah.
A lot of people have this fear of sales. They feel, salesman, it's very tough.
Mm-hmm.
Our book they are reading, it's all written by foreign authors and a lot of key concepts, strategies, and they feel worried that they're not able to grasp it. So I thought I will write a book which is very simple. Even a non-sales people can read it and understand sales. So that was my goal. So I want to write a book which is very, very simple, and I took care that I don't use any big jargons, no management jargons, no sales jargons. In a very simple language, I wrote the book. And that my target audience for sales for non-sales people. So I see many tech entrepreneurs who are very good in technology or a functional domain who have started a company who are forced to sell, but they always fear sales. So I thought this book will help them. And I'm happy that many of the entrepreneurs are giving that feedback, saying that it's very, very simple. We are able to understand. sales. So my objective was achieved in that.
Very interesting. Yeah. So, Subbu, from your book, are there any core principles or any practical tips to master the art of selling in this book? And
Yeah,
that's your sub-theme, I believe, practical tips.
correct. If you see all the chapters, there will be a story or a situation where people can quickly relate to. Everything will be a simple insight or simple strategies told in a very, very layman term. So that the idea is once they finish the book, immediately they can apply it. So some of the people have written to me saying that it's there in their desk and they read it 3 times, 4 times. Whenever they have doubt, they refer. I feel very happy because they are quickly able to understand and implement it. So you can take it as it's a guide for especially people who are not very good in sales. This book will be a good guide for them.
Okay.
Simple day-to-day implementation. If you have to go to a customer meeting, how should I prepare for a customer meeting? If you have to send a proposal, how should I write a proposal? So if you have to cross-sell and upsell, how should I do cross-sell and upsell? All simple questions which will come into your mind of a salesperson. Okay, so it is being answered in the book.
Interesting. Yes, I did got a chance to go through some of it. I did go through the Kindle edition, but I'm little interested in the content on power of asking in sales. What is that, your insight in that book, Subbu?
Yeah. So I don't want to reveal everything.
I was only thinking, selling is only, it's one-sided. Now you're saying power of asking. So I'm curious to know about this.
See, a research says that 80% of things what you didn't get in your life, you would have got it if you asked for it.
Very true.
Yeah. So I'm talking about the small things like when you were in 9th standard, you may want to buy a cycle and you were afraid to ask to your father, or if you're in a co-education school, you want to sit with a girl, you want to sit next to a girl whom you like, but you have fear to go and ask her. So the small things, right? All these things you would have got it if you just asked for it. So I'm taking this principle and trying to apply it in sales. So even when you sit with some stranger in a flight or you're going for a conference, we feel awkward to ask somebody. To ask for whether can you connect me, can you give me your card. Small things we have inhibitions to ask. So there's a 5 magical way to ask, which I have explained in my book and in my trainings. So which will help people how to ask. I have used this principle and benefited a lot. So I strongly recommend people to either buy my book or come to my workshops to understand how to effectively ask.
Okay. Subbu, and I hear most of the entrepreneurs say that, success in the entrepreneurial journey is continuous and a lot of hard work every single day. And yes, for the outsider, it looks very simple. Okay, it is easy, is what the other side of the fence look at. But I also know you yourself was running a e-learning company for 8 years and you had to exit at one point. Give the mantra of your experience. We definitely go through the failure and we also learn from the failure and go to a success. So what was your mantra in that?
See, what I understand is, are we enjoying what we are doing? Okay, so Sachin Tendulkar always says that he never thought he's working. Okay, so he's enjoying when he bats and he's highly paid for that. So some point in time, I also felt that I'm not enjoying running e-learning company. Whereas when I take sales training, I'm in a different zone. When I introspected, I felt that it is time for me. That is the reason I'm not able to achieve success as much in my e-learning company, because my passion was not that, whereas my passion is in sales. So sometimes in life now, to understand what is really exciting you, it takes some time. So at least I'm glad that I found that out. So, and even after finding that out, to let go the company, it took me 1.5 years. So it's your baby, you're groomed up, you have 25 employees working for you, you have some 200 plus clients, and closing it is not a easy decision. So it took me some time to get the maturity to let go of what I built and again start something from scratch. But I trusted my instincts, and of course I got a great mentor who guided me in the right path. My co-founders and my family and my wife especially, they all supported me, and I took that decision and move on. So if you ask me a mantra, thing is like listen to your heart, take support of your family and friends, and have a good mentor in your life so who can guide you. So these are the few things I can say to entrepreneurs.
Sure. Very powerful message, Subbu, to let go and, taking insight from people around. And we forget ask for help and, guidance. The mentorship is very, very important, especially when you are at a critical point. I think somebody who is a mentor, if he gives that small key, I think we will turn to a shining star, I would say.
True. Yeah.
So, Subbu, in your experience, can you tell us how to lead more conversation with decision makers and ultimately effectively close more deals? It could be any requirement. How do you actually convince and get things done? I think every profession or anybody for that matter, we have to get that conviction or a convincing mode to get things done. How does that happen?
See, if you have to convince anybody, not only in sales, first of all, they should feel you are doing good for them. Only then they'll get convinced. Correct, right? So in any sales, I always see for where I can help my client. So to find that out, I will ask a lot of questions, spend a lot of time. But the moment I know that this is the exact problem they're having and how I can solve with my ability, I will position that solution for them. So they will feel that, yeah, he's solving a problem. So our idea is like we have to find out first what is the problem customer is having. Okay, so that is exactly the reason they are ready to buy something, right? Otherwise, we'll never buy. If you have to convince anybody, find out what is their problem and give a solution which they like and which is good for them, then easily you can sell.
Okay. I think understanding the problem and then go to the decision maker to, getting our projects to done. Especially in my learning field, I want to convince them I want to run a leadership program, or it could be a e-learning project I need to roll out, or it could be a technical program which I need to plug in, or a bite-sized capsule program. So convincing is real strategies. Now I realize I understand their pain points and I actually this is the gap. I think I can fix this.
So in other words, in other words, in other simple words, if you have to say that, answer what is in it for me. See, everybody when they're talking to you, in their mind they will have this question: what is in it for me? So there is nothing but the problem, right? So what is in it for me? It's going to be useful for me. So if you answer that, they get convinced. This is a question, it is in their mind. You answer that. So when you answer, you are nothing but you're giving a solution. Okay, boss, this is what you're going to get.
Yeah, true. And also, Subbu, I see your profile. You are also a mentor on the inauguration of an integrated startup complex at Kochi. As a mentor, what is your message for startups on sales, on what's in it for them?
One message I always give to startups is like, I see many of the startups are very tech focused or product focused, and they believe they spend their first 1 year or 2 years, sometimes 3 years on being perfect or creating a good product and then going to the market. But I strongly recommend them when they complete the product and then they take it to the market doesn't need that product. It has already moved on. So I strongly recommend to the product, especially product companies, even service companies for that matter, don't wait till you complete something, okay? To go and talk to the customer, start your sales process from the beginning, involve the customer in that, make some POC, when you say POC or demo or proof of concept, involve the customer, take their inputs, from their inputs build a product. So don't assume that this is what the customer want. So I strongly recommend them from the beginning of your product, involve with the customer. So this is one mistake I'm seeing in many tech product companies. Even when you're doing a service, it's better to, the day you start the company, start doing sales. So then exactly you know what the customer want.
Yeah, I think any product company has a bug, right? And they win through the bugs, right? They release the bit-sized, like Microsoft, this is the version, and then they improvise and hear from the customer, and then they make that pitch. Yeah, rightly said, I think we should not be perfectionists. We should hit the market at the right time, else your train is gone. Right. Yeah. So Subbu, we have got a lot of insights on the sales. Now it's time for a powerful questions to unveil for my listeners to engage, empower, and entertain. And that's the mission of my podcast too. Are you excited?
Yeah, definitely. Definitely. Nice words. Yeah.
Sure. So, Subbu, my first powerful question to you is, according to you, what is the star moment?
So in my life, or
So for you, what would be the star moment?
okay, in future you are asking, right?
It could be in the past. Was there a star moment for you,
Yeah.
or in future are you looking for something? You could pick in your.
I'll answer both. So the
Sure.
star moment or the turning point in my life is when I met my mentor, Mr. Srinivasan Ranganathan. So after I meet him, my life changed. So I'm very grateful to him. There is a star moment in my life, and in the future, the star moment which I'm looking forward is like I want to be a speaker in World Economic Forum, Davos, Switzerland, representing India.
Wow, that's amazing vision you have already for that. My second question to you now, Subbu, what are the three most important things you would like to accomplish right now?
So
Maybe in next
the, the
30
first
days or a 1 year?
30 days or 1 year, okay. So I'm working on my next book, which I am planning to publish within next 3 to 4 months. This year, last year I trained around 1,500 plus people, and this year it should be 2,000 plus people across few countries. Because you were asking about 1 year, I told this in my next. If you ask me next 5 years,
Yeah, please go ahead.
if you ask
Three
next
most important things.
yeah. So one thing is I want to, as I told you, I want to be a speaker in World Economic Forum. That is number one. And number two is I want to be part of the delegation of the Indian team for the country in terms of negotiation for either with any other country or World Trade Organization. I want to be part of the country's elite negotiation team. I'm waiting for a call from Prime Minister's office one day. Okay, there is one thing I want to achieve, one to be achieved as the speaker in the World Economic Forum. And the third one is when I publish my 10th book, okay, maybe within the next 5 to 7 years. So these are the three big goals I have for next 5 to 7 years. To be a speaker in World Economic Forum, to be a part of the delegation of the Indian team for negotiating something great for the country. Third one is publishing my 10th book.
Okay, amazing, Subbu. I wish you all the best. And if I may ask you, what are your strengths?
I feel my strength is I am unrealistically optimistic. Okay, so right from my childhood, when I say my goals, people generally laugh. Okay, because the stage I would be in when I'm saying the goal, there'll be huge difference in my current day of life and the day I'm looking for. But thank God, most of the things I'm able to achieve, and I'm sure the things what I'm telling you today will also be achieved within the next 5 to 7 years. So that's my strength. I'm unrealistically optimistic.
Very important in this disruptive world, I would say. Thanks for that. So, Subbu, my fourth question to you: what is the best book you have read this year or any time you want to recommend for my listeners?
So I would recommend two books. So one is The Magic of Thinking Big by David Schwartz. Okay, so this book I read some 15 years ago. So after which now always my thoughts become big. Like I always put myself big goals, whether I am achieving it or not. I always have big goals. So this book changed my thought process. And the second book I would recommend is How to Win Friends and Influence People by Dale Carnegie. Even though it is a personality improvement book, but to me, it is the biggest great sales book, because sales is nothing but understanding people. And this book is one of the best book, I would say, to understand people.
Very, very important in each one's life. So, Subbu, I already hear that you have Srinivas Ranganathan as your mentor. But then, what are the characteristics of the best boss or a role model you ever had?
My mentor, Srinivasan Ranganathan, is a great person. And the number one thing I like with him is clarity. Whatever confused state you are, if you talk to him for a few minutes, you will get clarity on anything you do. Okay, that's a great thing I learned from him. And it's very tough to have such clarity in all the things in life. That's a thing that is thing which made him great. So the clarity.
Yeah, somebody like Sadhguru, right? Anything he's geared up. Yeah. Are there any tools, Subbu, that you use on a daily basis?
Yeah, I am a big fan of YouTube, and as you rightly said, Sadhguru, Jack Ma, or Dandapani, or many people. Whenever I'm traveling or whenever I'm free, I go to YouTube and keep listening to audios and videos in YouTube about many great people. I strongly recommend people today. It's very easy and data is very cheap. There's so much of learning we can get from YouTube. So I would recommend people to spend some time every day to learn something from YouTube.
Right. And I would also request you to, explore podcast. There is also loads of content there. And
Definitely.
I've been a podcast listener for last few years, and now passion is driving to get into this.
Definitely, Jyoti. I will take your suggestion, definitely.
Subbu, in continuation, are there any resources you would recommend to our listeners? It could be books or a blogs or a website.
As I said, see, books, there are so many books. If you want to learn more about sales, I would recommend, as I said, How to Influence and Influence People is one good sales book. The books written by Zig Ziglar, all the books written by Zig Ziglar can be read about closing deals and everything. And Shiv Khera's book you can sell. There is also a good book to read, and Brian Tracy's book, Jack Canfield's book on success principle. A lot of principles you can apply to sales. So I will give you some author names. You can buy all their books like Brian Tracy, Zig Ziglar, Jack Canfield,
sure,
and Dale Carnegie. So many books of these authors now will these books will definitely better a salesperson. And I also recommend my book, Anybody Can Sell, which will be a starting point for, it's a very basic book. From that, then you can upgrade to other authors.
Yeah, great, Subbu. Then, Subbu, we have now come to an end of this interview. And before that, I have one more question left for you. And before I ask you that question, how can people get in touch with you to become a super sales star or to attend any of your program?
Sure, they can come to my website, www.subbu.co, subbu.co. So if you come to their website, they can read about me, and there is a contact page. They can reach me, any query they can put, it will come to me. And they can also look into my Facebook page, @Subbu Sales Trainer, SUBBU Sales Trainer. So, and if they Google my name, Subramanian Chandramouli, they will get all the details, and they can reach out to me through Facebook or through my website.
Okay, great. So on a closing note, and that last question, your advice for those who want to accelerate their career in sales?
Keep improving. So even a marginal improvement every day is going to make a huge difference over a period of time. So every day, at least you should read few pages of book, or at least listen to one podcast, or view one video on your improvement. So the consistency of everyday learning is what I would recommend to all the salespeople.
That's a powerful message, Subbu. Great. So Thanks so much, Subbu. Great. Guys, all the links and resources which we have discussed in this episode will be made available in my show notes page. I will also list out all our sales conversation in my podcast description for your quick reference, the books, the tools, what we spoke today. Thank you so much, Subbu, for being on this show. I really enjoyed it, and I had a great insight on sales and negotiation and few formulas and the models what you taught us about LKT or LAER model and the mentor part. Very insightful. Really, thank you so much.
Thank you, Jyoti, for the great questions and helping me to reach to many people. I really appreciate your initiative.
So friends, I hope you enjoyed this conversation with Subramanian Chandramouli. If you have got any learning or motivated hearing to Subramanian Chandramouli, then make sure you do share this podcast with your friends and post it on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and let your friends know about this amazing information you have learned, and let this piece of information help many others to engage, enlighten, and empower. So all my wonderful listeners, thank you so much for your patience and tuning into this show. Bye for now. Take good care of yourself and go out and do something engaging, enlightening, and empowering. Thank you.